Hey guys, Tyler2K here, and these are 3 tips to becoming instantly better at Tekken 7. While stepping a character in a certain direction is not always the best way to beat them, typically characters have one side that's weaker than the other. Interestingly enough, if you look at everyone's weak side and put them all together in a single comparison, roughly it's 50-50 if you have to step to the left or to the right. But if you take that list and condense it into typically the top 10 characters, you find that there's a heavy bias towards one direction, namely stepping to the left. Even if we were to make it into a list of typically the top 15 characters, you'll still find that left heavily outweighs stepping to the right. As such, playing on 2P will actually give you a natural advantage against playing on 1P, since most players will find it more natural to tap down the sidestep than to tap up. One thing of note is now that online play has become the new norm, and the game will allow you to pick either 1P or 2P and change the camera respectively to which side to choose, you'll often find by default people will select player 1. So as soon as offline Tekken becomes a thing again, people will be all clamoring to get player 1, in which case if you are used to player 2, you'll have a natural advantage as you won't be trying to fight for your preferred side. Similar to knowing which way to step, you can use a mathematical approach to know which throws to break by default. So if you throw away the characters without a special command throw, and also include the characters who have an equal chance of doing a 1 or a 2 throw, this is what we're left with. Now prior to Season 4, there was a heavy bias of 2 throws overweighing 1 throws, but with the addition of Kunimitsu, that becomes closer to 50-50, although there is still a slight edge per 2 throws being the preferred option. Now I can already hear some experienced players saying to themselves, wait a second, some of these characters can do both throws. Which is true, but it doesn't take into consideration the fact that certain grapplers have more of one button than another, and oftentimes one of their throws will lead to significantly more damage than the other. Or in the case of Heihachi, his 1 throw is significantly slower than his 2 throw, thereby easier to react to. Of course, a preferred thing to do would be to actually learn which characters can do which throws and break accordingly, rather than just following a blanket statement of breaking all throws with a 2. And unlike trying to learn a list of 50 characters of which way to actually step them, this list of 12 is way easier to learn. It may seem counterintuitive, but it's quicker to react to sound than it is to sight. On average, you might be able to gain an extra 2 frames of reaction time by playing with sound on. This is particularly important if you are a player having issues max punishing certain attacks, as you'll find that very punishable attacks will have a very distinct sound dependent on the character. Now one final note, these sounds may be reused for other attacks, but there's no way to visually confuse the launch punishable options versus the safer ones. Once you realize the universality of these sound cues, a whole nother world of max punishment will unlock for you. Using your knowledge and experience, you can often tell how punishable attack is simply by hearing it, so be sure to keep honing this skill.